No.
Part of your shoulder's cut off. If you can bring it in just a touch.
Okay, I see it. I see it. I see it. I just need to see my. So move
Yeah,
it over.
right about there.
How's that? Okay.
Yep.
Do I want to put you there or?
So we're live.
Got it. So if I'm talking to you, it looks like that. Right? You know what? I see the side of your head, dude, and not even the full side of your head.
When I talk.
Right there you go. Yeah, you're way over to the left.
Right, but I should have, when I talk, I should have a gap between my face and the side of the...
There's a gap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're a gap. So now we should be about balanced.
Yeah. We'll
To opposite sides. Yeah, we'll pretend anyway.
That'll
Hey, YouTubers. This is us pretending. Sooner or later, we'll get enough money in to get some actual production tools, so then we're on the same screen and all that.
Is there anything, now that we're live for people to see us, is there anything we need to set up for Patreon? Has there been any banking thing that we didn't set up? Does that matter?
We might. We'll have to check. We'll
talk about it later.
Yeah,
right,
that one.
I'm playing with my Reaper.
All right, I'm ready to go on Reaper if you are.
I am.
All right, let's hit record.
Oh, I guess that would help.
Yeah.
I am recording. It is picking me up.
All right.
Hello.
3, 2, 1, marker.
I might be a little early on that because you delayed it.
I did.
So there you go. Sorry about that, Hugh. What am I kidding? Hugh doesn't listen to these.
Hugh doesn't even edit these. I edit
so it's all you that doesn't edit, right?
Oh,
where are we at? There we go.
And that's the audio production.
Welcome, welcome, everyone.
I haven't even hit the button full. 9:59 on the clock. All right, I'm gonna hit marker time, and then you hear some music. Marker time.
This is R. Morton Mon.
And I am Charles McFall. And we are all about bigger, badder, better, more.
Bigger, badder, better, more. We're here to help others be awesome.
And you've landed on the comedic motivational show, Success Freaks.
Welcome, welcome everyone to the #1 I've Got Rhythm comedic motivational show, otherwise known as Success Freaks. Today's working title is episode 168, The Rhythm of Change. And today, we're coming at you semi-live for the last time this year in Roseville, Minnesota, in the Bears Den in Monticello, Georgia. In that Bears Den, Monticello, Georgia, maybe one of the last times this year for him as well, is the dark side of positive, Charles McFall.
I had to catch what you say about, am I dying? I don't understand why this would be the last time. Oh, wait. Because I have a new studio, a new house, and all that jazz. It'll actually be through October that we'll be moving. But yeah, I don't know. You'll definitely notice on the Google Hangout when I have the new studio, because it's going to be very studio-esque with the toys behind me, the bobbleheads that I like, and the speakers and everything else. So yeah, but it threw me off. I wasn't prepared for the last time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we're not dying, we're not quitting, we're just moving. It is the rhythm of change, and we are going through that rhythm again. It's obvious in my life, it's become obvious in your life, that things are cyclical. The good, the bad, the ugly, the beautiful, things are cyclical, and you should get used to that change. And I think that's what we're talking about a little bit tonight. I asked you, actually having a hard time saying the word actually, I actually asked you, if you had a topic or something you wanted to talk about, and you were like, yeah, I do. So unless is there anything else we want to talk about? Anything we have to lay down?
Well, part of this topic, I guess we could talk about Patreon. We do have a Patreon out there, patreon.com/successfreaks. It is where if you love what we do, if we were helping you out, you can help us out. It's about being the patron of the arts, about supporting what we do. As little as a penny to as whatever you want to pledge, and essentially how that works is you still control it. It's if you pledge $1 per episode but only can do $2 this month, you lock it off at $2. And it helps out. Every little bit helps out, and I'm telling you, on the other show that I do, I've had people pledge 10 cents, but that adds up, and you get a lot of people doing that. it helps out. And what we're trying to do is improve what we do with Success Freaks, get better broadcasting tools, grow the message, get a bigger audience, those kind of things. So we're trying to make it bigger, better, more, just like we're trying to help out with your life. So if you check it out there, that would be awesome. So today's issues, topics, or whatever, talking about change is we go through cycles, everybody does, of you're working on something. I mean, you've seen it more than in my life throughout the last 3 or 4 years. We've done, worked on something and couldn't get past it, and then got past it, and then all of a sudden there's more resistance, and so on and so forth. And I don't know if I've been blatantly open about it on the show, but I've been resistant to birthdays, and I just had one this past weekend. And Mordant is like the birthday missionary, man. There's been years I didn't take his phone call on purpose because I wasn't in the mood. I knew he was calling to sing to me for my birthday. And I'm like, no, I'm not in the mood. I just skipped the call. And he sings anyway with a smile. He doesn't care. He loves birthdays. And we'll get into the show, and we'll get into maybe the why of it and this and that and the other. But this year I took a different aspect on it. I started embracing it because I don't know why. We'll figure out why as we talk through the show into the next segment. Then it brought me to the idea of Halloween is coming up in the U.S. And that's it's not even a holiday. It's just a big, stupid event, really. I still don't like it, but I have definitive reasons of why I didn't like it, and my kids weren't allowed to go trick-or-treating. And with changes in life, with moving, and the fact that I'm looking back on life and saying, you know what, there's a lack mentality, there's a you just can't do this mentality, and then there's a what is truly wrong with it, where can I let my kids figure out what they want to do in life safely, and how can I protect them. So this year we're going to be changing that up and letting them go out and do some trick-or-treating, and we're going to talk about that in the second segment. So we're talking about change, and I noticed there was a rhythm to it. There's, we'll work on something, and then, like I said, we hit resistance. So that's where we're going in this show.
Excellent. Yes. Well, yeah, I love holidays. I love any time to celebrate life, any time to celebrate whatever's going on. It's just a convenient excuse to go, hey, this is wonderful. And you've always had, look, you should be doing that every day. I'm like, yeah, absolutely, you should be doing that every day. But there's also some days where you just get a little bit more oomph. Some people need that help. And that's one of the things, but there's also other changes that we go through. My life is very cyclical in that I'm in Minnesota this time of the year. I am going to North Carolina next time of the year, different places. In fact, it's just become fall. So in North Carolina, I'm going to see all the leaves changing. It is a natural progression of things going on. And there are people who are just very, very resistant to change in their lives. I don't want things to get different. Well, listen, change doesn't necessarily mean it's going to get worse. Sometimes things get more difficult because you do need to learn a lesson. You do need to do something. What you're doing is not the best thing. Oh, my health is not so great, and so the doctor's saying I have to go and do some exercise. Well, yeah, maybe your health is not great because you don't exercise, but maybe your health is not great so that you will. Different things like that. It's just to kind of give you a kick in the butt, little push in the tuchus to move forward there, and you have to embrace that change. There is a rhythm to it, and when you can do that in your life, and you can embrace it more, you're going to find that there's an advantage to it. If there's hard times, instead of looking at it and going, ugh, why do I have to deal with it? It's more like, okay, what do I have to learn? And you'll get through it faster. You'll get through it better. And then you will have a much more enriched life, in my point of view and my experience.
But what about those times when you just have to settle? You've done a lot of change. It's not always about the outside life. It's about the inside life, too. And, in fact, recently, I can't remember if it was the last show. I think it was the last episode, Morning, where I said, why are you so angry about people saying, how are you? Oh, my life sucks. And you're like, oh. And you talked about it, and that's been a thing for as long as I've known you. And it's not even something that's popped up to change. And I'm not throwing you under the bus. I'm just pointing out we all have stuff internally, and sometimes you don't need to change. But is there a resistance to the internal change as well?
It's also, for that, it could be, just a lesson for me to, if I don't like something in my life, then I should change it. If you don't like it, change it. The people are going to be the way people are. If you don't like people, answering this, this question, hey, how you doing? With oh, this is how my life sucks. Then find another way to engage them. Find another way to bring out what's more positive in them. Hi, it's good to see you. I've changed. It's not my place to change people in this world. It's my place to affect how I'm dealing with things. So, maybe that was a little lesson there. Or I'm going through it so that we can talk. Or, maybe you have always told me to watch my words. So maybe that's something that we bring to our
Well, I've said watch your language, but that's because we're prude. No, I'm sorry, no.
No, friend, you are as curse-tastic as I am.
Shut your mouth.
So I'm just talking about curse-tastic. So I know that's not it. Yeah, people, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, when you see us in person, don't be shocked when the curses flow from our mouths, because we are cursing fellows. But we clean up our act for you. Because why? Because that's the rhythm of this show. That's the rhythm of our change. We are people who can be both men. We can be, hey, this is me, relax, and they just come out. Or I can clean everything up so that the mom and dads and kiddies can listen to our show as well. And me telling you this is me owning up to the truth. This is the truth of who I am. And that way, you're not shocked when you see me and I'm dropping things left and right, and maybe you not want to hear.
Yeah, I've always been open and honest about how I thought swearing was immature, and I wanted to be more mature. And there are definitely times when words come out, and it's usually in times of immaturity. So you'll
man, I don't know. It's fuck that. No way. It's not happening.
Okay. Okay.
Now I know you're gonna bleep that out.
Oh my goodness. So, good night. If you would like to come back to a new partner here on Success Freaks, you can come back right after this break. I have to take a few minutes to find a new co-host. Come back next. Oh my goodness, that just threw me off. I'm here at WGNC AM 1450.
Sorry about that, dude. I didn't expect it to throw you as much as it did. I thought,
what the hell, man?
We're not. Like, for a second, it shocked you so much that I'm like, wait, are we? Is this a bad thing? No, it's not a bad thing. Move your camera, because the way you bob your head, the edge of your what is it called again?
Microphone screen.
No, the screen. Yeah. The pop filter is right there at the edge. You keep going in and out of camera. It's
on the little one, right? But not on the big one. See, I'm talking now. See,
no.
Okay, right?
Okay, well, I'm just telling you, on my camera, on the big screen, you are jumping in and out of camera.
Oh well, I'm not doing TV. I'm doing radio. Because I can't bleep YouTube.
Charles, you're too pretty to hide your face from people. Stop it. Stop it.
I'm not hiding my face. I'm just not worried about the camera.
This is what I see.
I'm worried about my partner going, fuck
that. See that? That's what I see. Ladies and gentlemen, those of you who are watching this is our antics. Don't forget to bleep that out.
I put a marker in.
Oh,
I think
there you go.
I think the poop in my pants will help me remember to. I was like, what in the what? Of course, it doesn't help that I forgot to take out the markers from last week, so I've got to sort through all the markers anyway.
Why? What does that happen when you do that?
Nothing. It just adds more markers. So instead of having 1, 2, 3, 4, it's like.
Oh yeah. Oh, I see. I see what you mean. Embracing my birthday. Hated Halloween. I'm a man who should not only support human rights but embrace.
So we should talk about into the why we don't change, and I can tell the Halloween.
Why we don't change?
What like?
Bring up that discussion. There you go.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it. Mm-hmm. Might drop a few more F-bombs.
You know what? You'll be editing this episode. You keep dropping that. See, and the way you're even laughing, you know I'm right about the immaturity thing. You know I am, the way you're giggling like a schoolgirl. And Angie probably is just peeing herself laughing. Now, when you come back...
You sound great. I don't hear background noise. When you come back, Ricky, you should do a different voice and pretend it's a new host.
So, all right. I've got 8:59 on the clock. You're gonna hear marker time, and we'll go. Marker time.
Welcome back to Success Freaks. This is Hernando, and because they got rid of the other guy, I'm here. I've cleaned up my mouse. Don't worry, I talk very pretty for you. I don't say anything bad, no poopy words. It's just this guy right here, okay? Okay, so we're going to talk about my language. That last guy, the Armore Moon, he's not very, he was mooning into your face. Not very nice. You know, and we needed to have the rhythm of change. So we have the change right now. So this is me, Hernando, that you may call me Hernando. And that's
Oh my God. I almost drank some of my coffee during that. Right as you were saying mon, and oh man, that was awesome.
I want to thank Rock Girl because she's the one that made the suggestion. So the props to her.
Yeah.
There we go.
So yes, we do talk about language at times, both in the how you say things and what you say things. So we're talking about embracing the rhythm of change. And my wife is similar to you in that she loves birthdays. She loves celebrating people. She's grown up doing that. And I grew up having my birthday celebrated. It wasn't like I got thrown in a closet. It wasn't like there was some horrible trauma that I can put my finger on. If I asked for a party, I got it. I know, same thing we did with my kids growing up. Until there were friends to come over, they didn't have a big birthday party. We just had, you know, a family get together, and then as soon as I was old enough to realize what a party was and had friends, they had parties for me through the age of 12 or 13. They'd let me invite friends over, buy pizza. You know, at 13, 14, you're playing, and in my generation, we were playing, you know, Super Nintendo and Street Fighter, and so they'd have friends over and pizza and do that all night. So it wasn't like I was deprived or damaged. I don't know what it was, but I didn't care. And I think it's because I didn't like who I was, and I was dealing with a bunch of stuff growing up with the other damage, that maybe I didn't feel like I should be celebrated, or maybe I didn't feel like it was worth it. Maybe I was just still going, okay, there's so many things on the radar at one time, and priority is fix this other big demon and worry about the birthday thing later. I know one of the other things in college that really, really burned me on birthdays. I think I've told this to you before, Mordant, or or whatever it was.
Hernando.
Alejandro. That was great, sir. Kudos to you. It was a good way of throwing me off. It was awesome.
You're
welcome. In college, I called up to my friend to wish her a happy birthday. Specifically, she didn't remind me. I knew it was her birthday. It was early in the day. It wasn't like it was at night and I'd forgotten all day. It was mid-morning to early lunch. And I'm calling her up, and I was like, hey, happy birthday. And I'm trying this thing that I don't do. Because I don't give a crap about your birthday. Then, now I try to recognize people's birthday because I know, like with Mordant, you forget his birthday, you're dead to him. Dead. No, he enjoys it. So the people close to him, he would not be. I would not be dead to him, but he would be sad because I didn't recognize it because he loves me and he needs that, and I get it. But anyway, I was trying this thing, going, "Hey, happy birthday!" And she started crying. I'm like, "Well, what's wrong? Nobody's calling me to wish me a happy birthday." I'm like, I'm right here. Hey, happy birthday! But nobody's called. My dad called me this morning, but that's it. I was like, and I finally went, you know what? I'm done with this. And I hung up because I was literally trying to tell her happy birthday, and she's bawling because nobody else is telling her. And that's exactly what I was trying to do for her, intentionally, before she started getting upset. And I was like, oh, my God. And then I hated people who worried about birthdays. So it's been a long, long journey. Then I was in the office. So these are all examples of why you don't, why things kind of get turned off to you, but they can be refreshed. So this time, I embraced the birthday. I started, and people did ask, so I put out my birthday, my Amazon wish list, which you can find on Success Freaks on Facebook. You can just say it. But I started saying on both the shows, I talked about, hey, my birthday is coming up, and I'm excited. And I got to tell you, it was a different experience, because my wife was able to make it better for me, and we don't have a whole lot we're getting ready to move, so we don't have like a whole big extravaganza thing going on. She just did a little thing, and actually the biggest present I got was she took the kids away for half a day and let me chill out. When she came home, somebody, her mom, as part of the present, bought a big Chinese dinner. So I get to play video games all day, and you're gonna bring home Chinese food. I'll take that. That's awesome. But I've gotten some cool boxes in the mail from people I don't know, which I love. But I got to tell you, Sunday was the actual day of the birthday, and of course, Morning called and they sang, and that was fun. And other people called. But on Facebook, I think I'm up to 160 people taking time out of their day to say happy birthday, and I was like, wow, that's something, man. That's the world, wanting to stand by, and they literally just going, and a lot of them made effort, found pictures, did different things to my other show specific, made it personal, not just happy B-Day or something like that. And I was like, that's awesome that people do want to celebrate the fact that I'm around and they're happy for me, and that's one of the reasons why you do want to change sometimes.
Right. And is that what you wanted to discuss during this section about your birthday?
Well, I told you that it's all about embracing change and why I hated it. Here, I'll give you another one. And the Halloween one, I'll make this quicker so you can come back with it.
Oh, my goodness, dude!
What do you want to do? You acted like you didn't have anything to say, Hernando.
No, I thought we were going to go. Well, here's the thing that is very interesting about Charles and I. Now that we're so comfortable with each other, and we do this with love, this sniping back and forth, we do this with love. We're able to, in the middle of our radio show, just go, what? Earlier, during the break, you said we're going to talk about this, and now we're still talking about your birthday. Don't get me wrong. I'm glad you found this newfound love for it. I'm so happy about that. However, let's move on, because we were supposed to talk about how sometimes changes, we shouldn't change. That was the discussion that I was, excited about.
No, that's what you heard. That's not what we said.
All right. What about your birthday? How's it great again?
There are definitely times where maybe you don't change, and we're going to pull this out the show. There might even go to On Beyond Success Freaks, but my intention was we just skated over different things that have changed here recently, and this is all internal. So let me throw this one at you to more illustrate a little quickly about why I'm saying we need to change. There's been lots of things I didn't want my kids to do. I didn't want them watching SpongeBob. I didn't want them staying up super late. I didn't want blah 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 blah. A lot of didn'ts. And as I've grown up, there's been certain things that my wife have pointed out to me. Okay, look, it's okay. They can do it. It's fine. She supported me. But the biggest one was Halloween. And I'm not going to take all the time to tell you why I hated Halloween, but I have very good reasons for my kids to not celebrate Halloween. And what I realized in the rhythm of change was, even though I'm not changing my stance on it, I think it's stupid. I think it's for adults to be slutty and get drunk. And, by all means, slutty and drunk is good for adults, but why are we dragging kids into it? Blah, 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 blah. There's so much stupidness.
Dude,
I'm not changing.
You've got issues, man.
I do. I'm not changing, but I'm going to allow my kids to. And we're going to come into the next segment because I realize I've run the clock down, and I apologize. But I'm going to throw out to Morton this, and if he wants to open up the next segment, he can with this, is I decided to let my kids in a controlled environment test the waters, let them go get some candy, let them dress up. We'll be right there with them, protecting them from the strangers and all that other jazz, so that they can figure out what does and doesn't work for them in life. And that's whereas I'm personally not changing, I'm changing how I deal with them. And that's something else that's going on. And maybe down the road I'll change my stance or whatever. I don't know. But if you would like to get in on this conversation, Morton, maybe you should write in. I might let you talk. You can hit us up. Contact@Success Freaks is the email address. We'd love to hear from you. You can just say, of course, we're on Facebook, facebook.com/Success Freaks, where you can find my birthday list. Go there. I just don't know one more time. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Awesome.
All right, there. I didn't need a marker first. So no, sorry I threw you off with that. I had totally planned on giving you the reasons why I hated something, where I came to change, and we talk about the house. So anyway, you could throw in, if you want to go back with the changing of Halloween, you can. If you want to jump right to the question, we can. And then in the fourth segment or on Beyond, we can talk about not needing to change, because that is just as important. Actually, this question, isn't this question the one? Yeah, this question will lead us into that, actually.
Good, because I want to talk about not needing to change.
Yeah, because he talks about should I fake it till I make it, blah 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 blah. So yeah, we could. Yes. So let's talk about not needing to change.
So we'll get into the question thingy thing, and all right.
Are you going to do a third voice this time? That's no.
I'm just thinking that maybe I can do it. But everything sounds just so much like me. All right.
All right, don't worry about it. All right, we're going to do marker time.
Yep.
Marker.
Wait. Whoa. Can I please have a time? Because I didn't do it.
9:59.
Never mind. Just world clock, stopwatch. Stopwatch. Ready, go.
Marker time.
Welcome back to Success Freaks. This is Buford, and we are enjoying Rhythm of the Change here today. I'm so glad that you have tuned in today. We've talked about, first of all, birthdays, which I'm a big fan of, and then, that Damon Holiday. Now, I'm not so sure why Charles doesn't like it. He says he doesn't like it because of all the adult slutty stuff. I'm a big fan of that. However, there is a little bit of things behind Halloween that I don't like. I think candy is bad for the teeth. And so, therefore, you should stay away from Halloween because candy is bad for the teeth. However, we can talk about that slutty thing a little later. Thank you very much. I'm so sorry. You can probably edit that out. Anyways, welcome back.
I'm not going. You're stuck with it now.
Yeah, we wanna thank you to WGNC 1450 and apologize to the listeners for our weird Rhythm of Change show that we're having today. If you've enjoyed it, great. If you haven't, change the channel. But come back, because it's a great station.
It is. So this is the section where we do the listener question, and I will read it, and Mordant will lead off the discussion here. Right. Unless you got something else to jump into.
No, I think I've heard us enough. Let's move on.
Michael asks, what would you do if you didn't like something about your behavior? Would you try to change yourself, or would you accept who you are without trying to make any change? In my case, it's not just one thing, it's the whole attitude. I'm not sure how to put it. I'd prefer to be more cool and laid back. Should I fake it till I make it?
Yeah. First of all, fake it till you make it. I'm not a big fan of that. I like believe till you achieve, which pretty much it's just your words changing, and it's the same thing. It depends on what you're talking about, Michael. If there's something you don't like about yourself, and it's really, really bumming you out, whether maybe it's your health, maybe it's you treat people badly, maybe it's you're not ambitious enough. These are things that you should change. However, there are certain things that maybe you shouldn't change. You should accept yourself and realize that some of what you construe as weaknesses, you're like, I'd rather be more cool and laid back. Why? Because that's what we've seen from Hollywood. That's where we want to be like those guys where nothing affects us. Well, to be honest with you, some of the most successful people are the people who can connect with others, and that's not the cool and laid back people. Who do you want to surround yourself with? Do you want to surround yourself with aloof people who really don't give you the time of day, or do you want to surround yourself with people who are going to come up and be nice to everybody, who are always you make you feel good when you're there? You want to be that guy. So maybe what you are determining is a weakness is actually a strength, and you have to change your attitude about it. So you have to be careful on what you're talking about there. If there's something that you don't like about yourself, your lifestyle, of course, change your mind, change your life, so that you can level up your life and have and be bigger, better, badder, more. If, however, you're determining something that is really a part of you as a weakness, and it could turn into biggest strength, you should change it into that. You should accept that about yourself, and maybe find a way to promote it so that and especially if it's something you have fun with. I like being fun and goofy, but everybody doesn't think I'm cool. Well, so what? There's a great, you can make a lot of money. You're being fun and goofy. People have made their careers out of that. To quote the great Jim Carrey. So there you go, Charles.
Well, we all hear it from where we come from, which is when I said I want to be cool and laid back, and even now I'll say that it's an anger issue. It's a destructive, mean issue, and it's not just hey, I'm outgoing. You've looked at me in different situations and just marveled that I have no fear, and I don't have fear. That was I don't know if I ever had it. Growing up, the preacher's kid, always being in the church, all times, is just life. But I can see what you're saying. I agree. If he's coming from where you're talking about, well, I'm funny, but I don't like that because people laugh at me or this and that, you don't need to change. Maybe you need to change your friends. But if you're coming from the angle that I hear, where it's with my kids, especially when I'm teaching them school or anything I'm teaching them, instead of me going, why, raw, and getting angry, I want to be more laid back and cool and go, okay, What did you learn from this? Okay, why do you think? And sometimes I can achieve that because I'm focusing on what I want. A lot of times I smack the table or I scream or I get low, and then I have to come back later and say, okay, let's talk about what you did. Even last night, my wife drove all the way up, 30 minutes to town to bring some money. We're supposed to go meet the landlord and sign the lease, and she was supposed to bring the money, and she got all the way to meet me because I was coming from Atlanta, and she didn't have the money. And instantly, I didn't yell at her, although she probably felt like I did, because she was the one I was looking at. But I was frustrated with the situation. I'm exhausted. I've been working all day. My feet hurt. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I was like, oh, this is crap. And she said something. Actually, she led it with, you won't believe the retard you married, which didn't help set the tone for the conversation. But I was like, I'm not mad at you. I'm just really, really frustrated with this right now. And then she left to go get the money, and I went on to the landlord's house to talk to him, and she was going to meet me back up there. And I was like, man, I wish I'd been able just to say, because it's going to be fine. It is fine. Things happen. And I wished instantly I could have said, it's fine. It's very frustrating, but it's fine. But instead, I reacted, and I think maybe that's where they're coming from. How do you change that? I don't know. You keep working on the little things. Why are you angry? And honestly, even though I do mock it and I get a little irritated, but the phrase that, I don't know if Mordant invented it or if he just uses it to beat me over the head. He doesn't. He does. No, he's fine. But it's the truth. It's why are you angry? And you start digging into what about that situation made you angry. In this case, it was the fact that I was just tired and need to control, how I react to things better. I want to be peaceful. I don't want to be in control. I want to be peaceful, and that's the key. I agree with Mordant. I'm gonna throw it back to you here. There have been times when I was compensating for my lack within and my self-hatred, and so I was the funny guy, and I was the guy in front of everybody, but no friends. Nobody knew me, and I'd get so angry about that. And for the most part, I wouldn't let them get near me. So, do you change being funny? Well, Mordant will tell you I'm out in public and making everybody feel good, and I try to bring laughter to the table. So I didn't change the what I did. I changed the why I did it. So there you go, Mordant. I agree with you.
Yeah. Well, here's the question you can ask. Whatever the behavior, the attitude, or whatever that you're questioning, is it serving you? Is it serving you, or is it getting in the way? One of my guilty pleasures is I will watch this TV show called Millionaire Matchmaker with my girlfriend, and she'll sit down and she basically sets up these millionaires on dates, but she also works with them, and if they're a certain way and it's kind of getting in the way, and one of the guys was kind of this goofy, funny, is always making a joke. She's like, you're using that to push people away. You're not letting people see. She's not saying don't get rid of the funny stuff. She's not saying get rid of the funny stuff. She's like, you just need to tone it down so that they can see the other side of you. So the question is it serving you, or is it getting in the way? Now, if you're joking and you're making everybody feel great and you feel great, it feels good for you to do this as well. I love when I'm like that. I'm not always like that. I prefer when I'm like that because it's fun for me too. Then that's something you should emulate. However, if it's getting in the way, if you're just kind of this cut up and you're at a serious business meeting and you can't turn it off, you're always the joker, and you're losing business because of it, or your girlfriend or boyfriend is just like, all right, you're not taking me seriously, and that's getting in the way. You need to find another way to be as well. Look at that as one facet of your personality, but you're a multifaceted being, so you want to find another way of being. So make sure you do that. Make sure that if it's not serving you, you're able to look at it and facilitate a change for yourself so that you can have a great life. Remember, it all comes back to you. I'm not talking about being selfish. I am talking about everything being great, though.
And, yes, you need to change. No, you don't need to change. Those are the right answers right here. That is a key. You have to balance what you want. My wife would say that to me all the time. You're never serious. And that wasn't exactly true, but I wasn't as serious as she wanted me to be, and that's where we're going to have to leave that. I do want to put a quick note, Robin Williams. There are so many times I watched him, and he's funny, but then I watch him in an interview, and I watch him in another interview, times when he doesn't have to perform, times when he can just talk, always on, and I went, man, he's got so much damage. He is so hurt that whatever he can't be serious, and then ultimately he couldn't get it. And it was a tragedy. And you do have to figure out why you're doing things. So come back next. We're going to talk about the level up your life, how to take the rhythm of change, how to look to set it off when you're in a low point, and possibly how to really figure out what you need to change and to accept who you are when you don't need to change. All that coming up next. Stay tuned so I can get the time right. All right.
Nice.
And 10:59. Yeah, I did. I always noticed that about Robin Williams. I mean, what made him a great TV star and movie star and stand-up comedian? The time that I always thought, well, we all know comedians are funny because of the damage they had. And of course, his history of drug use and family issues and rehab. And I don't remember if he got divorced, but I remember some of his family life was public and yeah. But when I saw him on Inside the Actor's Studio, and for the hour and a half or however long that show is,
right,
he couldn't be serious for a second. It was always, and about 30 minutes in, my wife and I both go, wow, that's a seriously deep issues, man, that you can't. I mean, it's hilarious. People are eating it up, and that's the problem. People want to take for their own enjoyment, and they were eating it up. And I'm like, now somebody close to him, and maybe he just wouldn't let him. Maybe he had nobody close to him, but somebody close to him needed to say, no, dude, just stop. You've added a Hangout toolbox, huh?
I'm just looking.
All
right, how do I get rid of it? Just click on it again?
I don't know.
Yep, that's it. Okay.
Click on it again, I guess. I didn't add it. I don't know. All right, so level up your life. You got your level up in mind?
Yeah, I got something.
Okay. So, all right, everyone do marker and then time, and you'll bring us back in. Let's see, where's my M button? Marker, time.
Welcome back to 6X Freaks. Today we're talking about the rhythm of change. And I was trying to do Peter Lorre and I couldn't do it. It's kind of like, Hernando's creepy uncle.
Yeah, it sounds like somebody called the wrong number in the middle of the night. It's like, what? The what?
This is Success Freaks you're listening to, and the episode is Rhythm of Change. This is our level up section where we talk about having you level up different things. And for me, Rock and Roll just puts a Spanish vampire. I want to suck your blood. I like Halloween. So, anyways, a lot of the answers, a lot of our level ups, we talk about how it's all about your perception, and that is really, really what it is.
It is.
Look at these changes that are happening in your life as things that are bad, your things that you have to do, things that you are forced to do, or you can look at them as an opportunity to help you grow, and that you can have a better life. It's not going to be easily because it's requiring you to get up off the couch, maybe actually physically or metaphorically get up off the couch and do something in your life. If you don't like the way your body looks or the way your health is or the success of your business, you're going to have to go through a rough patch of doing something that's not necessarily easy for you. If it was easy for you, then you'd be doing it already. And you'd have the big old muscles and you'd have the successful life and all this stuff if it was just that easy. But usually some form of change is required, some form of something that challenges you so that you can be better. So change also, I think they both start with the change and challenge. Both start with C-H-A. Here I'm trying to spell. Both, it's both the same thing. Change will involve a challenge if you are going to change. If you're going to be the same, eventually there's going to be another change where you begin to deteriorate. You're either growing and expanding, or you're crashing in on yourself, just like the universe. Right now we live in an expanding universe, but eventually it's going to reach its the biggest point of its expansion and begin collapsing in on itself. So what's going on in your life? Are you changing in that way? Because you're always changing. You always are. Even if you're sitting on the couch day after day after day after day after day, and you're eating more bonbons and things like that, you're changing, and you will not notice it until a month from now when you're like, ooh, my waistline's a little thicker, and I'm less wanting to run out there and do stuff like I did before. So
your universal belt is expanding.
Yeah, my personal belt is expanding. embrace the change, face the challenge, better your life. That's what I'm saying, and change your attitude about that, because it's there to help you. Change is there to help you. Those different rhythms are there to help you. That's why, especially if you're going to the gym, working out, they say change it up every once in a while. Otherwise, your body gets used to it, and then it's not as effective. So change is there to help you enrich your life and live a better life.
Now, I'm gonna disagree on some points.
Plural points?
Well, I didn't make notes.
You make me curse again.
First thing is that I disagree with the whole universal aspect. I don't think there's ever going to be a point where it reaches an end and collapses. And if you go, well, that's science. Well, science also thought the world was flat for a while, and science thought the sun revolved around us. I think that there's unrestricted growth, and I definitely think that in your life. I think that, and that's not really disagreeing with you, Morna, as it is disagreeing with science or whatever.
Well, you know what? And here's the thing. I'm going to jump in on this. Science agrees with you, because science says there are no absolutes, and this is the theory, or even proven theory, until something else comes along and says, nope, that's wrong. That's what I like about science. They're like, oh, we're perfectly willing to say, oh no, we're wrong about that.
Yeah. So I know that. I don't ever think there's going to be a limit to my personal growth. And there's some things about Bob Proctor to me that have become too much business, too much because he's older now and he's not as vibrant and as learning as he used to be, because everything was new for a long time. He's just learning, he's teaching, he's learning more stuff, and he's teaching. And now there's just so much, the machine is rolling. And I don't know how much Bob is in that, but I know Bob is older. From the looks of it, I'd put him in his 70s-ish. Mm-hmm. I don't know for sure, but what I'm saying is he's still learning. He's still growing, and that's why I still like some of the stuff that he puts out. Is none of it's bad. It's just I've heard that. I want to hear something new. And when he does put out something new, when he does say, I just had this idea, that's amazing, because a lot of people think of your retirement years, your elderly years, your silver years, whatever you want to call them, as your downtime, as you're done, and I disagree wholeheartedly. I don't know about embracing change. What I do know is you don't fear the reaper. You because when I hear embracing change, I might picture people who just want to go and fix everything and tackle, and I've been through a lot of change in my life, and I've accepted change, and I've accepted I'm not who I need to be. And even now with the whole Halloween thing, I'm standing on my principles, going, here's what I believe for me, but here's what I want to guide my children. I'm not leading them to hate it. I'm leading them to understand who they are, and then they can figure out what they want to do. And maybe Non Beyond will talk about my issues with it, and more they can see and talk to him. He can counsel me. He can get me through.
Talk you down off the cliff.
Yeah. And,
well, I mean, even just with what you're saying right there, it sounds like you like I don't like embracing change, but here's how my viewpoints are different with Halloween, and I don't, you talk about accepting change. I think that's the same thing.
Maybe
embracing the fact that changes are going to come. Now, you may not like. I'm not saying that if there's something you don't like, you shouldn't combat it, but there's definitely a time where let's face it, we're getting a little older. And there are changes happening in the body, et cetera, et cetera. The hair's getting a little bit thinner, so my hairstyles change. I can really get bummed out about it, or I can just go, you know what? It is what it is. I'm still damn pretty.
Well, there's that, I guess. I also see I move forward, and I'm watching the clock. I move forward, and I just don't look back. And so if I say I'm going to cut my hair, I cut my hair. And I don't worry about what it used to be. I just do it, and now this is where I am, and I'll assess if I want to change something. I'll assess if I want to look at something. I don't know. It's also a little bit of that. This is where you balance me. It's that motivational energy thing that you get going on. That when you're like, go embrace change, I'm like, oh, stop it, no. That's just me. That's just me. Because I react to people that way because I don't feel like you know me. So I'm just giving the balance. Maybe I don't disagree.
Right. I think we're just arguing semantics. I think we are both saying the same thing.
Be who you want to be.
We're just talking about the words. What?
Change into who you want to be. Know your why. Why are you this way? Why do you like it? Why do you not like it? And why do you want to change it? Answer those things, and then you'll have your path. And I think that's where we go. So where can they find us besides right here on the wacky and hilarious Google Hangout every week?
Yeah, you can also find us week to week at 14:50 a.m. WGNC coming out of Gastonia, North Carolina. We are every Thursday night 5 o'clock, so find us there. But if you want to find any of our social media, et cetera, successfreaks.com. Everything from Facebook to Twitter to Google Plus to everything is successfreaks.com. Sometimes we'll throw up different videos. Sometimes we'll throw up different articles, et cetera, et cetera. So that is where. And if you are an iTunes user, iTunes, Success Freaks, find us there.
Yeah, you can find us there, and do it on your new iOS 6 or whatever the iPhone 6 is, and you probably won't be able to hear us because they've had issues with the podcasting on there. So sometimes you don't rush to change. Is you might want to wait till they work the bugs out on some things, including life. I don't know. We also have a book out, Amazon.com. The Success Freaks /book is there. I think you've covered it. Twitter, we're on Twitter, we're on Facebook, we're on G+.
Talk about everything.
So we still have some time. We have some time to finish. So how's your hair, sir?
We have 2 minutes, don't we?
Yeah, how's the new haircut going for you?
It's great. Oh my God, it was like rainy and stormy. Okay. A couple of weeks ago, I talked about how the Tortuga Twins were our last show of the day. It rained, and we did a whole show in a downpour. Well, we were faced with the same thing this weekend on Saturday. Only we didn't realize it was a stormpocalypse. It started to rain, and then people were staying, and then it lightened up, and then it rained heavy. Not a big deal. And then 50-mile-an-hour gusts. At one point, branch breaks off and hits Ron in the back. There was other places on site. Trees were, branches were coming down. A huge pylon that some of the shading was on was pulled out of the ground and snapped and broke down. If anybody had been there, they'd have been killed. So that night, there were 2 different wrecks, so people were stuck in their vehicles for 2.5 to 3 hours, maybe more.
Wow.
Not being able to leave. So it was a very, very hellish thing that we had to deal with. We weren't stuck in there in our cars because we had people that we could hang out with for a couple of hours before we left. But yeah, man, it was like that. So now I'm getting ready to go to North Carolina. I'm leaving on I'm leaving on Monday. So a week from today, I'll be in North Carolina, and I'm looking forward to my fall there. So try distance from you too. I should come see you.
Not on Tuesday. I'm busy.
Right.
All right. Well, that sounds like a rough weekend. I'm glad you made it out, and I know everybody in North Carolina is ready for you to come visit with them.
Yes.
So why don't you take us on out?
Thank you for listening to Success Freaks and our Rhythm of Change. This has been R. Mordant Mon.
And I know you are, but what am I, Bear? Because I don't need to change.
Ciao, Success Freaks. Baby boom. A little different.
I accidentally hit stop on the recording. So that's fine. I didn't mean to. Don't hit stop. I'm hitting record right now. It'll just be a little off. I'll fix it. All right. I hit the wrong button is all I did. So, on to Beyond. Do you have anything, sir, for On Beyond?
No. I think we talk about Halloween or we talk about...
yeah, we can. It's fine.
Hey, you were talking about us doing a commercial for WGNC.
Well, we probably need... I think the one we did said 6 o'clock, not 5 o'clock, so...
What? No. I'm saying we could do a Patreon commercial, but that way we don't, I don't want to spend a lot of time on that. So
no. No, I don't need that for On Beyond. Bless you.
Thank you.
I want other people.
When is the podcast awards happening?
It is happening. It's happening at New Media Expo in April. They will open it up around January, February of next year.
Okay, so we don't have to worry about it.
Yeah. And plus, if we're going to have commercials on our own show, we need to have a different voice do it.
Yep.
So
that's a good idea.
I'm not sure how busy Lala is, so I don't know who all we could get.
There's plenty of people out there. We can talk to Ellie Collins and see if she'll either she or she knows somebody because she's got a lot of people doing that stuff.
Right. So So we'll do Halloween. We'll just see where the conversation goes, and we'll go for that. 10 minutes on the clock.
Really,
Yeah.
we haven't beat Halloween to death. Well, you
I
guys.
thought you said you wanted to talk about it.
No, I just don't have anything. Is there anything else?
Well,
you
once
want
I
to talk
actually get into the detail, I haven't. Here's the thing: I haven't given a single detail about any of that. Just this is what I think. So let me throw out the details, and you're like, no. If you go, no, don't want to talk about that. That'll be funny, and then we'll figure something out. Unless you got something.
No, that's fine. We'll
right.
figure it out.
The show must go on, sir. All right, you're gonna hear marker time.
Nope.
And Angie, if you've got anything, you can flip it into the chat room here. We'll be more than happy to take it.
And you're bringing us in, right?
Yes.
I think you should bring us in with a different voice. Do you have anything?
I don't have a different voice. This is it. Marker time. Welcome to On Beyond Success Freaks, where we go bigger, better into the topic of discussion. We're talking about the rhythm of change. And my partner and co-host has said that I should use a different voice, but I don't have different voices. He's the one who can do that kind of thing, and it was very, very funny. So I'm just going to ride. I have Charles McFall of Success Freaks, and, of course, R. Mordant Mon is with me as well.
Howdy.
As he's just staring off to the side. There you go. Thank you, sir. Just kind of looking at paint dry. That's what he's doing. And we didn't have a whole lot to talk about now and beyond, but we like to fill the gap. And we know if we start, the conversation will come. We always have something to say. So I'm going to throw the details of why I don't like Halloween, and you can talk me through the different issues. You can throw your 2 cents on it. By all means, that's what it's here for. And if you don't want to talk about it, you can say pass, and we'll move on to something else. The whole thing is I grew up in the church, and I thought it was very hypocritical of the church to have fall festival, but then there's specific types of churches that I grew up in where I was like, Halloween is evil, and getting dressed up is evil. And, I mean, my own father, being a preacher, did a sermon one time on the roots of Halloween and how it came from Druids and the paganism and this and the other. And then he even talked about Christmas and how Christmas came from paganism. And then I'm like, okay, I get that. But you're going to turn around and do a fall festival. So you're celebrating it. You're not giving an alternative to people. If you're standing against something, stand against something. So that pissed me off about the church's stance on Halloween. Then as I got older, I went, wait a minute now. We're teaching our kids stranger danger, right? You don't take candy from strangers. You don't talk to strangers. You need to just kind of walk away. Except this one day of the year where we encourage you to put on masks and blend in with everybody else that's out there in the dark so you can disappear easily and take candy from everybody. Let's do that one. And it never made sense to me. And then when I looked at it one more time, I went, I still don't get it. I don't get Halloween for kids. It doesn't make sense. I'll buy my kids candy. They dress up any time of the year they want. I don't get it. So what's left? It's the adult slutty party. Well, that's great. That has nothing to do with my kids. Now, the adult slutty party, I'm all about. Yeah, you want to put on next to nothing and wear it out and get drunk and have it fall off of you? I'm okay with that. As an adult, I'm okay with that. But I just don't understand the whole kid aspect of it. That's it. Blah.
Wow. Here's the thing: when you know you're okay with an issue or whatever, when it doesn't affect you. If your child says, "Hey, the sky is green or purple or orange or whatever,"
That's what we're going there. So this is okay. Hit me, baby.
and it's obviously not. And then it if you get all angry with your child and bent up about your child doing that, then there's obviously some issue there. But when you get to a point where you go, no, it's not. But who cares? The same thing with Halloween or anything like that. It's like, sure, there are some things that you need to be careful with. Now, of course, I grew up in the 60s and 70s, so we had no problem. I could say it was a different time, but it wasn't. We just have more media representation of what's going on today. The same things, and from what I understand from studies, the same amount of bad stuff was happening back then that's happening now. It's just that it's more in our face about it. We're more aware of it. If you really don't have an issue with Halloween, if you're like, you know what, my beliefs are my beliefs, and what you do and your beliefs, they don't really affect me, then you can actually know you're not slapping God in the face, and you know you're not going against your own personal beliefs, because I can look at it as just a holiday. But if you get bunged up about it, then you're kind of like, why? Why are you like so not secure in your own faith that you have to combat this very thing which is evil. Evil is what you make it. You know, in my belief, you know, it's your perception about something. You know, and we have holy men who are doing bad things. You know, that's come to light with church and things like that. We have bad men who do good things. So where is everything? It's kind of like it's your perception, your attitude about something that makes it so. So if it is evil to you and you need to really, really put it down, then that's your thing. But if it's not your bag, you're like, it is what it is. It's just kids going out and doing a holiday, you know.
Well, it's not so. I don't get the kid thing, and some of the combativeness that I'm angry about. I'm angry about the church growing up in the hypocriticalness of it. But what I get defensive about with my kids, maybe it came through here, is that everybody around me, nobody will leave me alone about it. Every year for the last, my son is 9 now, so every stinking year, even when he's a baby, for the last 9 years, plus even before I had kids, where they want to challenge that I'm wrong, when it didn't matter, it's I'm not good enough. Is, you know, you're being horrible. No, I'm not being horrible to my kids. I literally give them everything they want. What is this experience? It's nothing. It literally is nothing. You get too old to trick-or-treat. It gets weird to trick-or-treat. I mean, there's so much crap around trick-or-treating. I'm like, why bother? It's not a holiday. It's not. Valentine's Day is not a holiday. It's just something that people do because the card.
Well, what's your definition of a holiday? You're confusing. What's your definition of a holiday?
Now, a holiday is when people take off and they make good, big family time around it. Like the national recognized holiday. How about that?
Okay,
you know,
there you go.
But here, how do you compare Memorial Day? How do you compare this? See, I like this. This is where this is going. I like this. How do you compare Memorial Day to Halloween? Okay, we recognize Memorial Day is when they died in war, right? So we recognize the people who gave their life in war to protect our country. That's a holiday. So is getting candy for free.
Yeah, and Valentine's Day and all those things, you're right on that level. But as we've learned before in life, there are degrees of everything. And it's up to you how you wish to celebrate this. Some people do bring their families around during Valentine's Day, during Halloween, during whatever. That's the way they celebrate it. You know, and those deliciously odd differences. Anybody who saw, what was the movie Practical Magic? You know, things like that. There are people like that out there. So there are different people that celebrate in different ways. I think with the Latinos, it's Day of the Dead, and I'm not sure exactly how that's celebrated, but that may be a family.
See, now that's a little different. See, that's the thing, and there's a little bit of anger in me that we've stolen from other countries and changed it, like a Cinco de Mayo. It's a huge thing in the U.S. Why? It was a Mexican Day of Freedom. You know, the 5th of May is the day that they got their freedom or whatever that was. And it's an excuse to drink. Day of the Dead is where, from what little I know about the culture, the Spanish culture, Mexican culture, what I understand about the Day of the Dead is where that is their holiday, where they go through and they believe that ghosts can walk the earth. And, what, you got a hand up?
I just looked up, okay, I'm going to look this up.
Okay,
All Halloween or All Hallows Eve or All Saints Eve is a yearly celebration observed in a number of countries, October 31st, the eve of the Western Christian feast of All Hallows Day. It initiates the blah, 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 in a time of, where is it at? Dedicated to remembering the dead, including saints, hallows, martyrs, and the faithful departed believers. With All Hallow Tide, the traditional focus of All Hallows Eve, and then it gets into some other stuff.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
There is a purpose behind it. It's before All Saints Day. It's remembering the dead.
There was, and maybe there is in other countries. There's no purpose to it in the U.S. at all.
Yeah,
you
sure
know,
there is.
Go back to the Day of the
thing.
Dead. Yeah, okay, I'm going to remember my grandfather by putting on a Thor mask and getting some candy. No, you're not. You're going to get the freaking candy, man. You know? And it's like the Day of the Day of the Dead, the Spanish recognition of it is they actually have a parade and go down to the graveyard and have candlelight whatevers. And I'm sure in other cultures who have modernized things too, there's as much of a non-existence there as there is an actual existence, as in reverence, I guess, maybe non-existent, maybe reverence is the word I'm looking for. But like you're like, so people, and maybe they do. And if you do, more power to you. But you're saying some people bring their family together on Valentine's Day. I'm like, why? Valentine's Day is supposed to be about romance, and let's be honest, it's about sex. You know, it's about romance and sex. And why would you bring your family around for that? I'm not romantic with my kids. My wife, yeah, but that's what it's for.
Well, I don't
And
know.
it's created by car
I don't know what
companies.
tangent you're getting off on right now, but here I'm going back to another thing about Halloween. This talks about the Christian influence. Today's Halloween customs are also thought to have been influenced by Christian dogma and practices derived from it. Halloween falls on the evening before the Christian holy days of All Hallows Days, also known as All Saints,
Catholic, yep.
on November 1st, and All Souls Day, November 2nd, thus giving the holiday of 31st the full name All Hallows Eve, meaning the evening before All Hallows Day. Since the time of the primitive church, major feasts in the Christian church and vigils which began the night before.
So, what's
you know,
your argument here? You're reading. What's your argument here?
my argument is that there's a reason for it. It's become bastardized. Sure, it's become something else. But if you can just accept it for what it is, it's kind of a fun little thing for kids to go in costume.
See, that's the thing. That's where my stance is, and we have to wrap this up. I'm sorry, but is that I don't have to accept it. I can say I don't want to be a part of it, and no, the world won't leave me alone, including my partner, Armored Ahmad. So we do. See, this was fun. This was fun. I like where we were here. All right.
So I think that for our when does Halloween fall? Does it fall on a Tuesday? Please let it fall.
I don't know. It falls on a. I don't know.
Oh, let me see. That's September and October 31st. It's on a Friday. Well, I think that Tuesday before we should both be in costume.
No. So, all right. On that note, I'm Charles McFall. That is
Armored Ahmad.
And this has been Ambiance Success Freaks. Thank you for coming along for the ride.
Whoa, boom, baby.
All right. Save all.
Nice.
Me get down.
That was awesome.
Let me get down to the teaser part.
Oh, that's right. We're still doing stuff.
We should do more of that. I'll call out. Like you're just reading. What's your argument? Quit reading. What's your argument? You know, your argument is suck it up, dude. Okay, that's an argument. All right, so we gotta do 2 sets of teasers here.
Oh, okay.
And we can stop the broadcast. Thank you for watching on YouTube and Google.